see.
Updating settings for Twitch. Starting video transmission.
And
Tweet has
we're
been
live.
posted. And we are recording and we are live on Twitch. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull it up.
I got a retweet. Where's the tweet? There it is.
Okay. We're up, so let's get started. Hi, welcome to TetNet Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm live streaming to the right channel, I swear.
Are you sure? You sure now?
Yes.
Oh no. Volume's up.
Or this is just a very weird edition of Voyaging Trainer.
Oh yeah. Anyway, why don't we get into it? So, Intel. Oh, actually, before we say that, to preface this, so historically there has always been only two players inside of the GPU space, starting with ATI and NVIDIA, moving on to AMD and NVIDIA, and then moving on to NVIDIA, and then back to AMD and NVIDIA. And it looks like we might finally have a third party entering the race. Intel is finally trying their hand at making a graphics card.
Actually happening.
You know, do you think that this might be something that possibly can save Intel?
It's a very likely possibility. It just depends on, well, how well they show up to the as a competitor.
You know, the funny thing about this is Intel could not have chosen a better time to do this, because all Intel has to do is show up for them to get sales. I mean, I hate to say this, but as long as Intel is somewhat competitive, it doesn't even have to blow AMD or NVIDIA out of the water. It just needs to be on the board.
You don't need to be better. You just need to be good.
Pretty much.
That's all we're asking.
If they're on the board, they're going to have the same exact problem as NVIDIA and AMD, and they are not going to be able to keep this show stopped. I'm calling it. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Do you have another take on that one?
No. I mean, yeah, considering the way the market is now, any GPU is gone the moment we even look at it.
So, on the bright side though, it looks like from their teaser video that this could possibly be a very good card. So I mean, the video showed PUBG, Psychonauts, but the thing that actually impressed me was Metro Exodus. So even on a modern card, Metro Exodus is not necessarily an easy game to run. I can't tell you if this is the enhanced edition or the standard edition. All I can tell you is that it's Metro Exodus, it's ray traced, and it looks like it's running smoothly.
Yeah.
I mean, can't really say much more than that. So, what I remember about Metro Exodus is that on the 20 series cards, I haven't actually played it on the 30 series cards. On the 20 series cards, the 2060 was able to play it at a good 60 frames per second, but that's only if you didn't have the highest quality ray tracing.
No, yeah.
And you ran it with DLSS.
Eh.
So, I mean, of course, this generation's card makes the 2060. Well, it doesn't kill the 2060. This generation's just better than that generation was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like when you got up to like the high end stuff, then it became like a slaughterfest. But I feel like when it came to the mid range cards, Nvidia kind of took the approach of, you know what, we're doing good. We don't have to improve too much. And
kind of coast a little bit in the mid-range section.
So, as videos from like Gamers Nexus and I guess Linus have said about like the 60 series cards and the more Gamers Nexus, the price to performance ratio pretty much stays the same as the 3060. So yes, it's significantly more powerful, but it's also significantly more expensive. So you get more with what you pay more and you get more. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Of course, the generational improvements usually end up with you pay the same and you get more. Not quite so this time around.
Yeah. Still a performance boost, but has a performance boost like tax on it.
But there's an argument to be made there because this was actually MSRP prices. And we all know we don't see cards at MSRP anymore.
Yeah.
And that's taking into account like 2060 cards of like the original MSRP, not like that weird KO card that Nvidia was able to knock off like $50 off the MSRP on. I have no idea how they did that, by the way. So, I mean, if you take that into account, technically it's an even worse deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, all Intel needs to do is show up to the party, realistically. And if it can't play these games like at decent frame rates, I think they have this in the bag, as long as they don't pull an Intel in their pricing.
It's the one job. It's the one thing. It's the one thing they gotta keep an eye out on. As probably the one thing that'll probably kill them.
I think that I don't think that they are going to though, because Intel. I feel like Intel knows they're new to the space. I think that they know that, and they also need to get away from their very, very bad reputation in the graphics space.
Yeah, it's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Intel graphics is notorious for being terrible, both on the driver's side and actual performance-wise. The funny thing is that the Z graphics in laptops are actually pretty decent. They weren't good, but they were decent. They were okay. And they were very good for integrated graphics cards.
Yeah.
So I mean that one generation of GPUs doesn't make a decade of reputation go away, but I feel like they're getting there.
Yeah. Could very well be the start of a new chapter for Intel. Yep. Hopefully it's a good one.
So some of the very impressive things to me is the fact that it has ray tracing, of course, as well as their version of DLSS. So it's AI accelerated super sampling. Don't know what they're actually going to call it. They're probably going to have some weird lingo that they're going to make, just like, please don't be an AMD. Fidelity FX super resolution.
Super resolution.
I don't know if I like that one better or deep learning super sampling. I don't know. I can't tell you which one I like more, but I can tell you I don't like either.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe for some reason or another, Intel decided to go with like a Dungeons and Dragons theme with their naming scheme for the GPU. So maybe they might stick with some kind of magic thing for their explanation for super sampling.
Well, it just works. Oh wait, that's Apple. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Intel would do something like that just because of the fact that they dropped them. Apple dropped Intel.
I could see that.
And that entire campaign of like why you should not get an Apple computer.
Just works. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. I could see that being a very real possibility. The spite is real. There's one thing you can count on from tech companies. At some point, it's spite.
Oh, and NVIDIA just made out of spite. Let's be honest here.
And one guy's leather jacket is just pure spite. It just has the look of spite.
That guy's leather jacket isn't real. That guy isn't even real.
That guy isn't even real. None of it was real.
Some of it was real. Most of it was real. It was just small sections of it that wasn't.
Yeah.
Either way, still
that
impressive
was powered by spite.
Yeah. So let's talk about implications of this one. So, Intel graphics. Tell me how you think this is going to project your future to me.
Project the future. Alright. Well. I think, all in all, I'm feeling hopeful, but I'm not sure if it's because I want to feel hopeful, because the last time I've ever heard of a new competitor in any tech space, I feel like in kind of a while. Plus, I mean, you know, Intel's been kind of on a downward trend recently, so it would be nice to see them get a nice boost in with this graphics. You know, as you said, they've been able to gain some decent performance in the you know, the integrated graphics department. So maybe they're able to translate much better with dedicated graphics cards. I guess it all just depends on. Yeah, I guess it just. I don't know. I'm just not sure how to feel until you know, launch day comes. Truth be told. Wow. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what prices to look at. And yeah, but I think as we've harped on earlier, as long as they show up, and promise to be at least a decent competitor, not necessarily the best. That's a very big ask for a brand new competitor in a very long-rooted dual GPU space, but fingers crossed they put a good first foot forward.
So I can see this going two ways. First way would be Intel releases the graphics cards at competitive prices, so about the same price as Nvidia's and AMD's. Of course, there's going to be some bugs to work out because of driver issues and whatever. I can see that happening, and they will always just keep selling out, whatever. You know what I mean when I say that, right?
Yeah,
Because
they always got the
is.
first product woes, and well, right now, yeah, we're currently in the whole GPU shortage business.
And genuinely, I think that Intel is going to get this one. I think that Intel sees this as something they can't mess up. Because you know how they have a new engineering CEO and stuff like that. I feel like Intel realizes that if we mess up this launch, they're not getting a second chance. That's the reality of it. And I feel like this is how Intel's gonna do things. Just release at competitive prices, watch the sales numbers go up, and hopefully get better driver support along the way. I really think that they're gonna have competitive performance, so I don't think that Intel's gonna skimp on that one.
Yeah, I can see that.
But if Intel was really, and I mean really smart, I don't think that they're going to do this. But if they were really smart, they'd sell this product for almost at cost. Like, you undercut the competition in price-wise, do similar performance as them, and chalk up the issues to we're still working on this product, but the cheaper price will, make people's palates a bit easier on Intel. Meaning, like, okay, they knew that this wasn't 100% ready for prime time, but they decided to give a cheaper price in order to, offset it.
Yeah. Kind of like, since this is your first showing in, just go about manufacturing price, and keep profits a little bit low on this one, just so that you just get into as many people's hands as possible. Give them one more reason to go through the whole debugging first wave, the inevitable first wave debugs, and that would be very ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
Intel has a huge advantage in order to do that. They don't need to allocate foundry space. You know what I mean by that, right? They have their own foundries. They can tell their foundries whatever they want to do. They don't have to kind of like order a few million chips like 2 years in advance from TSMC.
Yeah. It's all from them. In definition of in-house in that regard.
I feel like they have the advantage because they can pivot. But I know that Intel's a very stagnant company from time to time, but hopefully their CEO can allow them to pivot a bit faster. Because, as we all know, if we go to Best Buy right now, you could probably snag yourself a Core i7 processor rather easily.
Yeah.
So, if Intel was able to, say, cut their CPU supply slightly and start making more GPUs, I feel like that could give them a leg up.
I can see that. Focus much more production on their brand new product, and plus with the whole GPU shortage, as long as you can get them onto the shelves, I mean, hey, that's a win right there.
So they could potentially come out with a supply as well as a price if they so desired. If they got both of those down, I think that they will literally crush Nvidia and AMD.
Yeah. They have a very good chance. They have the capabilities to do so. We just gotta wait and see if they follow through.
Because the reality is, if you can undercut the competition at this and at the same time be able to give more supply than the competition, I mean, that's a winning formula if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's hopeful thinking. I really don't think Intel's going to do that. I do believe that they might actually be able to do a decent supply, though, just because of the fact that they own their foundries.
Yeah. Manufacturing all in-house. Got no worries there.
Yeah. And they must have some extra foundry space because aren't they wasn't one of their recent announcements about having some production for Qualcomm?
Yeah, I think I don't remember if we touched on this in a previous live stream or if we just kind of talked about it. But yeah, I believe Qualcomm is gonna start using some of Intel's foundries for their production. So,
I mean, they must have some space available then.
Got foundry space for maybe not for days, but yeah, they got at least a little extra to share with Qualcomm. So they probably have a plan set for when the GPUs start rolling in.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, realistically, if Intel can get the supply, they have a good game. That's what I feel like.
They have a good chance. They have a lot of cards stacked to their favor.
Oh, it's just speaking of driver optimizations, look, you can't get worse than AMD. I'm just throwing it out there. I've never seen an Intel product have worse drivers than AMD.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be the first. I mean, despite everything, I mean, even though Intel's manufacturing hasn't been good, I feel like Intel's software department still has been pretty great. And of course, I also feel like Intel has the most brilliant engineers out there. One of them.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah. Intel is a very good company that decided that I wanted to sit down for a moment.
Yeah.
And it sat down for too long.
Yeah.
But I feel like they can come back. I think that they could come back.
Yeah. They have the chance.
They have
the capability.
And they have the money. Don't forget, Intel has way more money than AMD has.
Yeah.
So
this is the opportunity. They can bounce back. It's gotta just play your good cards right, and you're golden.
yeah. So that's my hopes for Intel. I hope that they can get back. But there's other parts of this I can see really going well for Intel. I think that this graphics division might actually improve their processors. I think that if they continue their graphics technology, I feel like they're going to be able to make the integrated graphics inside of their processors significantly better. So
I can see that.
I feel like that would mean, like, you know, let's say that you no longer need that low-end graphics card inside of your computer in order to do light video editing or stuff like that. You could do decent video editing with said Intel processor. That would save both battery and cost of the machine.
Yeah.
And of course that would mean that the manufacturer doesn't need to engineer their thermal solution as heavily, so it could also mean a lighter machine and quieter, more energy efficient.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Nice improvements all around.
Maybe Intel's new pitch could be, okay, maybe our processors aren't as efficient as AMD's, but we have a whole lot more graphics horsepower here, which should offset the power cost.
Yeah. True.
So,
That'd be a good sell.
yeah, I feel like that could be a pretty good sell if they're able to pull something like that off.
Yeah. And some very good potentials through this graphics department.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like this is also going to give Intel the very much needed ML boost.
Oh, yeah.
So, in a world that Intel is realizing, okay, x86 might be going away, I think that they're finally starting to realize that they need to put their focus in other things. Because x86 is not gone. It's not.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall.
It's getting there. The time is approaching.
Yeah.
The time has started. The end is nigh.
Because I think that Apple has proven with their M1 chip, ARM is the way to go.
Yeah. ARM is both the future and very quickly becoming the present. Well, it's made its presence known in the present.
Yeah.
Declaring, hey, we're the way to go.
Because, desktop computers are still more powerful than the M1, but you're literally pulling a fraction of the power. I mean, the power efficiency of ARM is no joke.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's nuts.
Yeah. ARM will eventually take over. Hopefully ARM will die faster. I'm not. Okay. The reason why I say I hope ARM will die faster is because I really want things to start switching over to RISC-V. The reason why is because, first of all, let's say it's not owned by any single company. It's an open source type of architecture, meaning that you can get so many variations and flavors of the said processor. And I feel like if every single company has their own stake inside of the actual architecture, that they will try and improve it in ways that we have never seen processors improved in the past.
Yeah.
Because, you no longer be competing on everything else but the core processor itself. They'll be competing on processor architecture level.
Yeah. See whose RISC-V variant reigns supreme.
Yeah.
Or see how yours can better for video editors while another person's better is for architects or 3D modelers or graphics designers or
maybe
I don't know.
It's just straight horsepower that you could pump into games.
Oh yes, all the horsepower.
So I think that Intel's realizing that, and they're trying to push it.
Yeah. I can see that. Finally getting around to diversifying, or moving on from, instead of just sticking, and just trying to force x86 as long as possible.
I feel like Intel has diversified quite a bit, though, already.
Yeah.
Intel is not just a processor company. I mean, I feel like, so NVIDIA found their niche in AI. I feel like Intel just has their hands in like all the pots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying there, right? Intel has a lot of different things that they have going on.
Yeah, branching out into all different categories, kind of throwing everything at the wall and see what sticks. Even a nice little happy accident in being able to loan out Foundry space.
I mean, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah, join all of them. see where you can get your next leg up.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about our next topic. So, I know I was just singing praises about Apple just a moment ago, but there's one thing about Apple that I completely despise. Their rules in the App Store.
Yes. The dreaded App Store.
So, tell me, Jared, do you know anything about the App Store's rules?
Well, from previous conversations, I may not remember too much, but from what I recall, let's see. They've recently made a rule or some couple of rule changes that has caused everyone's favorite DOS emulator to go the way of the Dodo. Their rules are pretty much why Xbox Game Pass is not a thing on the App Store. It's still a thing on Safari, but but I guess App Store is not a thing. Of course, there's everyone's favorite 30% cut that is even taken, even if you're doing local things like Facebook's for like events and donations and all that. So that's kind of not ideal.
Yeah. All that stuff is pretty bad. And I feel like the biggest issue with the App Store is actually the fact that Apple arbitrarily either approves or denies your app.
Yeah, they have they are the ones that have the final say as to whether or not your app is showing up on their iPhones or not.
Yeah, so the issue with their rules is that their rules aren't always black and white. There's a lot of gray. And a lot of apps fall into that said gray zone. So it's up to whoever's reviewing the app's interpretation of the rules in order to figure out, okay, does this app pass or does it not? And the funny thing is that these said people don't always know their own rules.
That's rather concerning. It's less just determined on the rules, but more on your personal reviewers' understanding of said rules. So where do they fall in the gray area? But sorry.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things, and the other thing is that Apple, even when Apple denies your app, they don't always tell you exactly what was wrong with it.
They give you the blanket statement, oh, we're sorry, we can't accept your app does not meet our policy guidelines, and therefore we cannot publish it into the App Store. Sorry, buddy.
Well, they usually give you like exactly the rule that you're breaking, but they don't tell you where that said rule was broken.
I'll tell you, well, we didn't do it because of this, but you might not even know where in the world in your app did that break it.
Yeah. So it's very arbitrary. They don't Apple can deny your app for any reason that they possibly want to. And I feel like that's a huge issue.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that the only way to get onto the iPhone, at least as of right now, is through Apple's own App Store. Yeah. I'm assuming, or unless that's just unless I need to put the asterisk, because that's the only like legal or safe way to put it onto the.
So, enter the Open Markets Act. So, of course, it still needs to get approved and whatever, but this act seems to be I'd say, the key to fixing all of the problems. And surprise, surprise, as soon as it was announced, a statement came from the Chamber of Progress.
the Chamber of Progress. And according to Ars Technica, they refer to themselves as the new center-left tech industry policy coalition promoting technology's progressive future.
And the best part about the Chamber of Progress? Its members include Apple and Google, along with almost every other tech giant they could possibly think of.
Yep. Surprise, surprise. The Chamber of Progress. The COP is made of the big players. Who knew?
Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, the fact that these companies are coming out and being like, yeah, no. I feel like that's definitely something that we really need to look at and consider. Are these people coming out to protect their customers, or are they coming out to protect themselves? Because yes, they are like coding this in this is a huge privacy issue. What was that phrase that they used? It was like one quote that bothered me like greatly. Oh, I see it. I don't see any customers marching in Washington demanding that Congress make their smartphones dumber. And Congress has better things to do than intervene in a multi-million-dollar dispute between businesses.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
So what I'm hearing here is that Congress doesn't really do too much to begin with. That's just my bothersome part. And so it's like, don't you guys have something better to do? Like, oh, I don't know, the pandemic? I know that's paraphrasing and putting my own spin on it, but why don't you just like sweep this under the rug? Let's not talk about it anymore.
Come on, like no one's making big noise about it in front of the Capitol or the White House or anything. So you go ahead and focus on, pandemic, stimulus bills, or, other big social issues that are happening right now, and you just let this whole app store thing just get handled by the companies themselves.
Yeah.
We'll manage this. You do something else. Come on now.
Yeah. That quote rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big red flag signs right there.
Like, couldn't they have worded that any better?
Yeah. I think the only way that would have worked in their favor is if they hadn't said anything at all.
Oh, and a quote from Apple. At Apple, our focus is on maintaining an app store where people can have confidence that every app must meet our rigorous guidelines and their privacy and security is protected. That's implying that as soon as the walls are broken, that privacy can't be protected and security is no longer a thing. But your privacy and your security... Doesn't iOS have like system-wide things that protects your privacy by not allowing them to have certain permissions or run in the background?
I believe so. Yeah, it has. I wouldn't be surprised considering how much they've made it so that pretty much all the data or like a lot of things is handled all on this instead of anything server related. So if you don't want anything sent out to the server, you can just probably a setting somewhere in iOS 14, 15 that you just let them know, hey, I don't want to send all my data to you.
And you know
Stop
what?
asking.
Why not? Why doesn't Apple just make, if a app is said sideloaded or downloaded from another app store, why don't they make them sandboxed?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you will have exactly the permissions that we give you. If the user says no internet, you get no internet. If the user says no running in the background, no running in the background from you. It's not like the technology doesn't exist to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's called a firewall.
Yeah. I'm surprised that isn't something that's already like. I don't know. Personally, I kind of always assumed that it was something you could do on the thing anyway. So yeah, I don't know why they're trying to use that as the big deal, and they've already touted the thing as already the most one of the biggest, like, in terms of privacy and security and all that.
Yeah.
Sure, they already have protective measures in place.
I really feel like there's that you don't the iPhone is private enough to the point that you could have these things on there and still be much more secure than if you were on a Mac.
Oh yeah.
Especially, or a Windows computer, or whatever you want to really,
Oh, Windows computer is a whole nother can of
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you know what I'm trying to say here, like.
Yeah.
I feel,
even if it's from. Yeah.
I feel like that argument is used whenever a company doesn't want to give something up.
Yeah.
Oh, but the privacy, the security of our customers. And for payment methods, I mean, I'll be honest, I refuse to pay any site that doesn't use PayPal.
Yeah.
If they don't either offer Amazon Pay or PayPal, that's a no for me. And even if they allow external payment processors, if the external payment processor is PayPal or Amazon, I don't care. I'll use it. You know what I mean? It's not like people can't be. It's not like people can't manage their own security, especially when it comes to payments.
Yeah, man. It's like they suddenly suspect that, all of a sudden a third-party app store comes onto the thing. We're suddenly gonna forget, like, all of our internet etiquette and our own ways of protecting ourselves, and just go ham and just look out for. Just go and download everything and sideload anything and everything we can. Like, we've dealt with this. We've been through Windows. we know what the wild west of the internet can be. Dangerous out there.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that they're really just trying to. They don't want to lose their monopoly. That's just where it comes down to. They don't want to lose it. This makes them money. And with Apple moving more and more towards services, with Google's entire money coming from services, and ads, services and ads. I mean, you're talking about this. This is their revenue. This is where it's gonna hurt.
Like, even if it's more competition, it's just, well, now they have to compete for one, and two, no matter what, their revenue's getting split. Whether it be like 99% to 1% or 50-50 or even worse, they're losing no matter what.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that I really do believe that app developers should be able to use their own payment processing systems. because the 30% is a lot of money.
Yeah. Big chunk right there.
30. Yeah, there. Man, it really is a lot of money. I would love to say more, but I can't about certain things. But trust me, it's a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah, so other things that the bill says is that Apple and Google must provide access to operating system interfaces, development information, and hardware and software features to developers. You'd think that that's simple information that everyone has access, all the developers have access to. But both companies have been very adamant of not having access to operating system interfaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay. The first thing that comes to mind, at least in Apple's case, is Apple Maps. Apple Maps is, at least interface-wise, miles ahead of Google Maps. Do you know why? Do you know why, Jared?
Oh, why would that be?
Have you ever used Apple Maps before?
I haven't used it in a while. I think last time we've ever used it, the family, we took a trip to California. So you already know this is pre-pandemic. I mean, we could have gone pandemic, but that would have been crazy. And anyway, so yeah, pre-pandemic travel to California, and I think instead of using, we usually carry around this like super ancient GPS around with us, but this time around we decided, hey, let's try out Apple Maps and see how that works out. And credit where credit is due. I really like the way it's able to give instructions.
Yeah. So
that felt natural. But anyway.
Okay. So the actual feature that I'm talking about, if you actually turned off the screen, at every single turn, the screen will light back up, and the map is open on the lock screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot.
It's not one of those like, okay, it's going to give you a notification. No, it's actually the map on the lock screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot.
And if, let's say that, okay, so that means that you can conserve battery life by not always having your screen on, and it will only turn on when it needs to notify you about something.
Oh, yeah. It can let you know both audibly and visually, and not just in a notification. That's...
And
yeah, that's,
the other thing that makes it better than Google Maps is that, okay, have you ever taken that like a call in the car, and then you end it and accidentally turn off the screen?
no, yeah.
While
Pretty sure I've done
navigating?
that once or twice.
Yeah. So, of course, that same thing applies to as soon as you open your screen, you don't have to unlock your phone. The map is right on the lock screen.
Oh, yeah. It just replaces your lock screen. That's
Yes.
just how it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's wild.
I know that sounds like such a small thing, but it's game-changing.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those features that's like, everything just feels dumb after that, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because whenever I take like a call, like on my Android phone, first of all, sometimes it doesn't even go back to the map. Sometimes it just turns off my screen.
So like, all right, you're done.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
what about my map?
Where am I going? Excuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of an unfair advantage there. Or it's an ingenious implementation, yes, but yeah, I feel like that's something that's not not as shareable of a feature to third party apps, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And I know that this is another feature, but I really hope that this feature will be included inside of this. Whenever you connect your car to Bluetooth on your iPhone, it will always open up Apple Music.
Oh wow.
Have you ever noticed that? It will never play Spotify by default.
Oh, interesting. I wouldn't know because I don't think I've ever started up Apple Music.
Oh. Oh, so does your car out just do Spotify?
Yeah, right now I'm Spotify.
Oh. So when you go in your car, it just automatically starts playing Spotify.
Oh yeah. Or if I've been playing through Spotify, then if I go back into my car, it'll start playing Spotify.
But if you haven't opened Spotify in a while.
Oh yeah. First time around, I need to open up Spotify.
Okay. That makes sense
But
now.
after
I'm
that,
like, okay.
yeah.
But with Apple Music, like, even if you forget about Apple Music for a while, when you get in the car,
It just Apple Music.
Apple Music. It knows.
That's interesting. It knows.
It knows.
It knows.
So of course, like if I had like YouTube open or something like that while I was getting in the car, obviously it would play YouTube.
It just plays YouTube.
But
that'd be a little bit extra sus if you're like, oh, I want to listen to the thing on YouTube. It's like, nope, Apple Music.
yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah. From like cold open, first thing, first time you get into a car, first time you get Bluetooth up and running, Apple Music. We want that to be the first experience of your day,
Yeah.
or at least of your commute. Does it do it with any kind of Bluetooth, or is it primarily car?
Oh, my camera went down.
I've lost. I'm currently facing a rainbow wall. And that gives me like old TV off the air vibes. That's pretty legit. At least it doesn't make a really loud like beep. With difficulties, please stand by.
Well, that's incredibly awkward. I'm gonna switch fully to you for a bit while my thing charges.
I see.
So this is a Jared show right now.
Hello and welcome to the Jared Show.
Oh, I feel like I've
I
rambled.
realize I don't have a scene with just me. So right now it's just me and a larger me on Twitch right now. I've never prepared for this. I have a display scene. Let's see what that points to. Okay, you can look at the Ars Technica article that we've been basing the third party.
That's actually not bad.
Oh yeah, and it looks like the audio is still capturing both of us, so we're good on that end at least.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
So
there we go.
this is the first time I'm trying HDMI. I forgot about the fact that USB actually gives this camera some power, even though it's not that much.
Oh, so now it needs to charge. It needs a bit more power. HDMI is power hungry.
Apparently so. Well, you live and learn, right?
Yeah. It's okay. Certainly very thankful I have a display. I gotta remember I have this display scene because I know sometimes we talk about like visuals and stuff in like the display. I think we did last time, and I kind of forgot that we had this this screen. So I gotta keep that in mind for the future. Guess I can also switch to it when we like introduce a new when we introduce into a new topic. Maybe show this off first and then switch back to our faces. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Well. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's. You know what? This episode has gone on for quite a significant time. Maybe that was our cue to end it.
Yeah. Did you have any extra last minute thoughts on third party app stores before we head on
I really do feel like third party app stores could potentially bring well, first of all, more competition. Second of all, more types of apps, because currently I feel like a lot of game developers especially don't really see the use of going on to Apple because of the fact that they're not going to make too much money, first of all. And I really hope that things like, having maybe an Epic Game Store with a lesser cut would allow game developers to think, okay, maybe I could sell my premium games on here and get better games on the iPhone.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
On the Android side, I am just hoping that we get games.
Just get some kind of game, any kind of games.
Come here, please. Just come. Join us. Please give us some games. I want games.
Please. Want to play something other than Pokemon Go? Just kidding. That's all I play. Actually, I wouldn't mind switching over to something else. I don't know. Would be interesting.
I've returned.
Mobile Game Fridays. Quick start game. Oh, you're alive?
I'm really hoping that I'm just gonna let's end this here while my camera's still alive. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Yeah. You have any last minute things?
Oh no, in regards to the last one, I agree. More competition, always welcome. Plus, hopefully, at the end of the day, more competition, much more better opportunities for developers, much more potential games and other applications for users. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now.
See you.